We're joined tonight by Alon Ben-Meir. He's a senior fellow at New York University School of Global Affairs. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So the Palestinians have been adamant that negotiations can't occur until Israel halts all settlement activity, all settlement construction. The statement that we just heard from the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas seems to suggest that that stance has been softened somewhat. What's your take on this? Do you agree?
Yes, I think so, because a number of things have happened. Number one is Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced a freeze at least for 10 months. Albeit it's not comprehensive, but it's a significant move, being that no government, no previous Israeli government has done so before, prior to any negotiations. So it's very important. Today is quite a bit of pressure coming from main Arab states, specifically Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and even Syria now, suggesting that this is a ripe time, this is a good time to begin the negotiation because there is no violence on the ground. There is a concern that this could be resumed any time. The United States is committed to the process. So there's a momentum, and they want to capitalize on that momentum.
So you're saying that the conditions are ripe?
Are ripe, and the Arab states, these countries are prepared to back up Mahmoud Abbas, to give him the political cover that he needs in order to proceed with the negotiations.
Why do you think that settlements are no longer an issue then for the Palestinians? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, they are an issue, and they will always be an issue, there's no question about it. But the question is, how do you go around it? That is, if there is a temporary freeze, and Netanyahu apparently is prepared to privately assure the Palestinians that there will be a halt on the settlement, albeit he may not want to do so publicly because there's certain constituency within Israel that will object to that. But what the Palestinians will be concerned about, whether de facto there is a freeze, and I think they can realize some of that without a question.
Right. So while we're seeing this sort of positive movement towards some sort of negotiations, hopefully happening sometime in the future between the Palestinian Authority and Israel, what about Hamas? Have they softened their position?
I think so. I think since the last incursion of Israel, last year and early this year, 2009 and 2008, Hamas also came to the conclusion that Israel, it's a reality. There's nothing to deny about that. And they have also, Khalid Mashal, for example, the Hamas's political guru, suggested that we're prepared to accept a Palestinian state based on the 1967 border lines, etc. So there's a softening on their part as well. Again, coming to the conclusion that Israel is a fact of life, and they're going to have to deal with it. And as a result, I think you will also see a movement between Hamas as well and the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank.
And encouragement also from Egypt, which is playing a role here in trying to get them to be more accommodating? Exactly.
I think there's tremendous pressure actually coming from Egypt as well as other, including Jordan and Saudi Arabia, to reach some kind of political reconciliation between Hamas and the Fatah, because it is going to be critical. If there's going to be negotiation between Israel and the Palestinians, Hamas cannot be sidelined altogether.
And what about the internal Israeli politics? How much do you think that they play into trying to resume the peace talks?
I think it's a great deal, because what you have is two leaders within the Israeli coalition government. That's the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Ehud Barak. The Israeli public trusts these two leaders. And historically, leaders of the Likud party, as a matter of fact, going back, Begin, Sharon, as well as Netanyahu himself, made the greatest concession to the Palestinians. So this is now an opportunity when they have the two leaders together, where Ehud Barak could restrain Netanyahu to some extent, but they both can deliver what the Israelis trust to be a solid peace if they work together.
All right, Alon Ben-Meir, thank you very much for joining us in the program.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.